Okay, y'all, this is the long-awaited base makeup tutorial. I'm only doing the base because I have to do the eyeliner and stuff on live for my girlies. Y'all, my skin is still a little bit fucked from the apple cider vinegar, but it's okay. First, we're gonna start with the products. I use two different concealers, one skin tone concealer and then like one brighter concealer because I do like a little bit of a glam look. This one is just the LA colors, you know, you can get that shit at the hair store, whatever. And I have color Fawn, and then this one is the Fenty Beauty in color 370. In case anybody think they'll be the same skin tone or something, you just go get those products. And I use the Fenty Beauty setting powder in Honey, and I use the Fenty Beauty powder foundation in 410. Now I'm gonna say this about powder foundation. It only looks good if you have oily skin. Because I know people be like, oh, well, it cakes, it looks cakey, and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's because you probably have dry skin, and you probably put it on top of dry skin, and it didn't have anything to let it settle into. It was just sitting on top of your face. With oily skin, it settles in. The oil helps it spread and even out and every fucking thing. You know what I mean? So it only really works with oily skin. But anyways, let's get started. Okay, so first I go in with the liquid concealers. You have to make the liquid concealers into a powder. At the end, all of your liquid products should be in powder form before you put the powder foundation on. All the rest of the products I use are, oh, I didn't show you all the rest of the dang products. Hold on. I was skipping ahead. This is the bronzing palette I use from Ulta Beauty. Whatever the essence, whatever. It was the cheapest one they had. And then I used this highlighter palette from Ulta Beauty as well. Cheapest one they had also. But the Juvia's Place blush, I don't go cheap on the blush. Even though this is a cheaper product, but the pigment, better product. But anyways, let's continue. Okay, finish going in with the concealer. This is how I put concealer on. I know people use like a lot less than what I use, but I don't give a damn. Do the same thing to the other eye. Okay, both eyes complete. And I left a little space right there because that's where you're going to want to put the glam color. Your glam shade, the brighter shade, is where you're going to want to put that. I put a little bit right here, a little bit down the nose. And I have like a button nose. I don't like for my nose to be sharp. Like I like for you to see that it's still a button. So I do my concealer like across so it looks more spread out. And then the chin, I'll put a little bit extra right here because that spot is a little dark. And right here too. At least until those two spots heal. Okay, so we let that dry down for a little bit. Now I'm going to go in with a sponge. Some people use like a brush, maybe like a Real Techniques 402 brush. That really works. But I just like to use the dang sponge because it's a lot faster. And I just like to get it over with sometimes. See? It's already looking good. Make sure you look it up. So if you have creased eyes, hooded eyes, you get right in that motherfucking crease. Same thing here. Look down just a little bit so you can make sure you get it all in your creases if you have hooded eyes. And I just like to drag excess product across the upper lip. And then get your powder. Go ahead and I use a different sponge for the powder because I don't want them to mix together. But dip into that powder. Go ahead and right on across. Make sure you look it up. Make sure you look it up. For here specifically, I always apply a little extra powder and then I let it sit. I let it bake. I'm also gonna do the hood because, oh baby, you do not want that to be creasing when you put your eyeshadow on. So I always put, damn it, I spilled some on me. So I always put powder on my eyelid, on the top of my eyelid, all in the crease, everywhere. Because that's exactly where my eyeshadow messes up if I don't put enough powder. So we're gonna let both of those sit on this eye. Do the same thing to the other eyeball. And it's okay to look ghostified during this process. By the way, this is just how I do it. You don't have to do it this exact way, but this has just been the technique that's worked for me over the years. All right, so now we let that powder sit for a little bit and we can dust it off. I use the Real Techniques 402 brush. And I just go ahead and go in and dust off all that extra powder. You should have a base that looks pretty smooth like this, just with the powder on it. Nice and smooth, nice and ghostly. So I use the Morphe 439, what's it called, buffing brush. I go into the powder foundation, right? We get a good heap of that. And we're gonna go circular motion. Don't press too deep into your face. Don't go like this. Go like this, like slightly. You need to be like on the skin, like basically gliding over it. And we're gonna do circular motion. And we're just gonna go ahead and bring that foundation up and try to blend it into the areas where you finished with the concealer. Like you want to blur those lines. Like you see that line right there? You want to blur over here. Blur that line where the concealer stopped. Keep blurring. This is exactly why I don't do the tutorials because I talk too much and I'm trying to over-explain like what to do. You know what I mean? But anyways, and even if, okay, let's say you're trying to blend it into the edges and it just don't work. For some reason, it's just not blending into your edges, whatever. You just go back in with that same brush you used to dust it off and just, boom. Now it's back. Now it's fixed. My Fenty one. Yeah, I got a bronzer in that color. So we're just going to use the Fenty Cocoa Naughty Bronzer. Please have a little bit left in here. Please. I got more left in here than I do on the other one. Goddamn. We're going to make it work. And I go in with the Real Techniques 200 brush. It's flat like this. Or not flat, but like, it's oval-like. And we just go in and take some of that product. And right where you see your natural line, well, at least, I can see mine. I don't know, like, see, this is why I'm bad with the tutorials. Like, I know some face shapes you can still see your own natural line. If not, you go and just, Same thing with underneath the chin. Sometimes I put some here. Sometimes the foundation is like enough to make it look. I'll put like a little bit just for the sake of the video. And then I go in with a smaller brush. It looks like this. No, I think it was gifted to me. And then we go in with a little contour. And I just go in right around my nose like that. I don't do a whole lot of harsh contour on my nose because I just want it to look a little bit more natural when I do it. I just basically want to outline the nose shape that I already have. And I just go in on the top also. If you have a button nose, I will go in on the top and then on the bottom because then it really accentuates that button. You see? Now I look a little bit more natural. I like mine to look really, really bright, and this highlighter color always ends up looking really, really bright. And I just do a little line, just a little bit, down the center, and then a little bit across. For the finale! Oh wait, what am I talking about? We ain't done. We ain't close to being done. I don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to open that Juvia's Place Volume 2 blush palette. I use both, and you're going to see why. So I start with the dark color, right? And we're just going to drag that on through. The dark color gives it more of like a natural undertone before you put the light one on top. And it low-key blends it all together. Like you see that? Like you see how I just kind of blended everything together and made all the colors make sense? So we just go in with a little bit of a dark one first. I also do it on my nose. I like cold girl makeup. Sorry, I can get that out for a minute. And then we go in with the light one right on top of that glam look. And I do it real close to my eyeball. You don't have to do it that close. I know some people like it over to the side and things like that. Like you can just do it here if you want to. You don't have to do it all underneath there. But I really like it close to my eyeball, so I just put it all underneath. And then I just go in with the powder right here on my nose. It's cute. NYX matte lip liner in color Club Hopper. Y'all, I promise you, if I go to the hair store and I can't find no more of this, I'm not putting y'all on nothing else. Nothing else. But this color looks so good on brown skin. Because I don't know what the fuck my upstairs neighbor is doing. Like she bouncing basketballs or what the fuck is going on. But anyways, this color looks so good on brown skin because it has more like a purple tint to it. And me personally, I'm a firm believer in black girls should be wearing lip liners with purple hues to it. Like that. And then the bottom. Then we use the Urban Decay matte lipstick in Back Talk. Just kiss the lipstick. Just kiss it. It's at the hair store. Just regular clear pink tinted gloss. Go in with your gloss over the lip. Bada boom, bada bam. Okay, so I start by brushing out my eyebrows first. Then NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen in color Espresso. So you just want to light hand it because it's very liquidy. If you press down too hard, it's going to be a lot of liquid all over your face. So just light hand it across. Make the under shape that you want and then kind of fill in on the top. You see what I'm saying right there? And then I put like 3 dots because you know at the front you kind of want it to fade into the darker color. You don't want it to look blocky and all dark straight across the whole goddamn thing. That's not what you want at all. We take a spoolie. I have this little pink spoolie. You can buy a pack of pink spoolies from wherever sales make. My second 10 minutes. Now we're going on 30 minutes. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and brush up from where you put. Oh, ignore my lace. It's kind of cheap. Just brush up. And you see how it's just kind of like blending itself out, blending itself right into the eyebrow. That's what you're going to do for the whole eyebrow. Brush out. And I know people be like, oh, why do you do eyebrows after? What if you mess up? If you mess up, see, look, we're already done blending. If you mess up, make sure you have one of these on deck. Just a little flat concealer brush. And this is the Morphe M432 brush. And you just go in wherever you messed up at. You just fix it. Since you're using powder products, it's easier to kind of manipulate the product than it is with liquid products. Because once you use liquid products and it sets, that's it. You can't really manipulate it no more. But with powder products, you can still manipulate it up until a certain point. After it's settled in, maybe like an hour or so, when all your face oils and everything start settling in, then yeah, you can't manipulate it no more. But right now, we can still manipulate it. So just go in and wherever you messed up at, just swoosh it around, swoosh it around. You see what I'm saying? The same thing to this eyebrow. Okay, both eyebrows done. And I have to put my signature piece. Like I have a little bow on my eye. I like to bring it back at the end of my makeup looks. So I use a little glue, adhesive glue, lash glue, whatever. And I put some on the end of one of those sparkle pickers. I'm gonna call it a sparkle picker because I really can't remember what it's called. And I just go in right where my mole is and boop. This is the final look from today. After I did the live, I went on live, of course, and did some exaggerated eyeliner per usual. And so this was the finale. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was long as shit. Y'all know I talk a lot.